Good evening and welcome to the Taft City Council meeting of, today is March 19, 2013. And as a courtesy, if you would please all remember to turn off your cell phones or at least silence them. Tonight we will begin as usual with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Councilman Orchel Cryer and the invocation by Bob Jordan with the Bakersfield Homeless Mission. Please rise.
Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we thank you for this evening together. We ask you to pray for all of our officials, federal, state, local, that are volunteering their time and their lives, those elected and appointed. We ask that you especially bless our town of Taft, California. We're so grateful we were born in this great country where we are able to express our opinions and do what we want to do. Father, we ask that all these men be blessed and their families be blessed in the decisions they have to make, and that they look into your eyes and your heart and come forward with what you know is best for our beloved city of Taft. In the name and through the power of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Thank you, Mr. Cryer. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Linder.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Knorr.
Here.
And Councilmember Waters.
Here.
Thank you. First item on the agenda tonight is a public hearing regarding the Community Development Block Grant Program Closeout Final Grantee Performance Report 08-STBG-5084. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The Grantee Performance Report is used to assess the degree to which the grantee has completed the various activities, whether are being completed in a timely manner within budget and in accordance with overall CDBG program goals and objectives as identified in the grant agreements. A public hearing has been duly noticed to allow the public an opportunity to also review the annual report and provide input as to these and future grant activities. Council is requested to review the attached closeout final performance report and provide any comments regarding staff performance. Closeout final grantee performance report will be filed, copy sent to the Department of Housing and Community Development by March 20th, 2013. Input from the public as well as the council regarding grantee performances listed in the public notice would be appreciated. Copies of the grantee performance reports are available at the city clerk's office for review.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. At this time, I'd like to conduct a public hearing to review the closeout final grantee performance report and receive input from the public concerning grantee performance during this period. Public hearing is open, and I invite anybody to come up and speak in favor or against. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, and I'd entertain a motion to receive the report and submit it to CDBG.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Gentlemen, any comments, conversation?
None here, thank you.
Seeing none, may we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Cryer.
Yes.
Councilmember Miller.
Here. Yes.
Councilmember Waters.
Still here.
Yes.
Councilmember Knorr.
Yes.
Mayor Linder.
Yes, thank you, and that passes on a 5-0 vote. Item number 2 is citizens' request for public comment. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the City Council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the Council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. The Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. And I see a
member of the public.
I see before us. Would you like to sign the paper, or shall we just?
That's up to you.
I know you're here. Boy, you move fast. You're getting Salvaggio's vitamins is what you're doing. Well, at this time, our supervisor David Couch is here, and I'll open the floor to you, sir.
I only want to take a moment of your time and let you get back to your business. I was unable to attend the Kern Cog Awards banquet a few weeks ago, and so I wanted to come out tonight and congratulate Randy Miller on his Hildebrand Award. Congratulations, sir. Anybody that does the type of work that you do for your community is a benefit to the 4th District and a benefit to me and what I need to do. So I just wanted to say thank you or congratulations on that award. And while I was here, I wanted to thank Dave Knorr for his help today at our Board of Supervisors hearing in our effort to clean up parts of the community that don't look as good as they probably ought to. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, David. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David, for being here. We appreciate it. Next person wishing to speak is Jim Moore. And this is regarding Caltrans-funded transit marketing projects. Welcome, Mr. Moore. It's nice to have Caltrans here tonight, and if you would just state your name and your...
He's with Moore and Ply.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim Moore.
That's all right, Mayor.
Oh, well, it's
Good
still
evening,
nice to
Mayor.
have you here.
Thank you. He's spending Caltrans money.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. My name is Jim Moore. I've had the good fortune, our firm, to work with the city of Taft, previously assisting it with its various public transit activities. On the council's agenda this evening is a recommendation to award a marketing study, some marketing work as an outgrowth of a Caltrans funded study. And should the council move forward with this, we look forward to being of service with you again in the future. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. We're missing Kathy Orrin tonight. She's usually here, so... Well, I see Mr. Orrin here, but you're not going to speak on behalf of the council. Okay. So is Kathy going to be here tonight? Okay, we enjoy her report from the chamber, so. All right, very good. Moving on to item number 3 is special recognition. And if you gentlemen will indulge me, I would like to read a special recognition. And this was actually presented to Mr. Randy Miller at the Kern Cog Awards, but I thought it would be appropriate to present it to him in front of the council and in front of the citizens, because this is where he lives. He doesn't just reside.
Thank you.
The City of Taft, State of California, certificate of recognition presented to Randy Miller, recipient of the 2012 Kern Cog Darrell Hildebrand Award for distinguished leadership by a public official. Whereas Randy Miller began his public service career when he joined the U.S. Navy in 1964, from which he received many commendations. And whereas after completing his service in the Navy and his education and living away from Taft for a few years, Randy returned to Taft in 1979, where he worked, raised a family, and embarked on a long and honorable career in public service, which continues to this day. And whereas Randy has served as a member of various organizations and on several of their boards, Taft Oil Dorado, Kiwanis Club of Taft, Westside Healthcare District, Taft Planning Commission, the Chamber of Commerce, San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District, Fort Preservation Society, the Local Needs Center, Taft City Council, Mayor of Taft, and was a charter member of the volunteer Taft Citizen Service Unit. And whereas Randy continues to unselfishly serve his community, the community of Taft, and never expects anything in return. He is proud of his community, his family, and his country, and encourages everyone not to just reside in Taft, but to live here. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Taft, on behalf of the citizens of Taft, hereby recognize Randy Miller as a dedicated and valued member of Taft, and congratulates him as the recipient of the Kern Council of Governments 2012 Darrell Hildebrand Distinguished Leadership Award for a public official. And it was dated the 7th day of March 2013, and is signed by myself, the mayor, and the other 3 council members. Congratulations, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Paul.
This is one of the ones you didn't get to sign. We need to get the whole council in here. Can we get one with the whole council?
Yeah, we can do that too.
Slide on in there.
Yeah. We're the slugs you have to work with.
Here.
There we go.
Get the white-haired guys on this.
Yeah.
There's too much like what I want. Okay, I'm kind of thinking. Can you move that shirt?
Yes, I can.
It's going to be a short meeting tonight, so we can do this.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Wow. I'm glad you got that camera fixed, Doug.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug.
Randy, if you'd like to say something, please take a few minutes. And I'll get the flag.
It's only the California flag.
California's falling.
We're not too disappointed in that one, are we?
I had to dove under that one, but that one.
Fix the eagle.
Well, I apologize for that.
The eagle has landed.
Well, I'm really humbled and honored to receive this award, and like I said the other night, it's a Darrell Hildebrand Award, and what's special about the Darrell Hildebrand Award was that Darrell was born and raised and went through schools here in Taft, so I'm especially honored and proud to receive the award named in his behalf. And so I told everybody that's two Taft boys that did good. Also, I want to thank Mayor Linder for nominating me for this, and he'll never know how humble and how proud I am of this award, and I just do what I do, and I've always told my kids, they've always wondered what meeting are you going to next, Daddy? Seemed like I was never home, but I do love living in Taft. I do love being a part of the community and being a part of what's going on. When I lived down in LA, I barely knew my neighbors. I didn't know any politicians, didn't know anybody. And coming back to Taft, you can be a part of the community and be a part of what's going on. And that's what I like, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank the community, and I want to thank my wife for putting up with me for all these years and being away at meetings. So thank you, Paul, and thank you, Council. Thank you.
Well deserved. Thank you, Randy. All right, moving on to the Treasurer's Report.
Good evening.
Evening, Ben.
Tonight's Treasurer's Report is just about a carbon copy of last time's Treasurer's Report. We have still about $9 million in total operating cash and investments, $1.3 million in our general fund, $400,000 in a special revenue fund, $1,900,000 in our sewer fund, $1,100,000 in the refuse funds. The federal wastewater treatment plant is $2,900,000. The wastewater treatment plant is $3,400,000. A lot of money for wastewater. $240,000 in the community development agency. The only negative things we have are the same as always. The correctional facilities, $882,000 in the money. And the transit fund is down $1,300,000. And that's my report.
And we're just still waiting on a check.
Hold your breath.
Yeah. I can't that long. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. Gentlemen, do you have any questions of the Treasurer?
Sure.
Other than probably most people know that most of those dollars that Ben spoke of are reserve accounts, and they're reserved for specific situations, funds and stuff like that. And I will tell you that somewhat healthy sewer reserve is going to take a hit based on what happened last week, and I think Mr. Jones will probably give us an update on that in a little while. So, all right, moving on to council statements, non-action. I forget who I think Mr. Cryer, I'm going to go to you first. Did I do that last time?
Yep.
Then I'm going to go to Mr. Knorr.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I should make a note of that.
First bit of news, now, I haven't touched base with any of our senators, but I understand through third party that the Senate dropped the federal assault weapons ban proposal that was coming from a California Senator, Dianne Feinstein. So God bless America, all of those of you who stood up for your Second Amendment rights, which, by the way, are no less precious than your First Amendment rights. Congratulations. It's still America, but don't give up the fight. So that's good news. Secondly, I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to talk about this before David Couch left, and there's no secret that Victory Square has been an eyesore for the city of Taft, the entire west side, for quite some time. And some of us have been working towards trying to make that make those problems go away or get better, at least get some attention for some time, and that hadn't been happening. I will tell you, since Supervisor Couch and his staff, Mark Salvaggio, have come to town, there is an exciting bunch of things going on and improvements taking place. Today, on the consent calendar of the Kern County Supervisors, there were 3 buildings that were on the consent calendar to be brought to the ground. These are unsafe structures. They are a public nuisance, and they are not good for the welfare of the people of the West Side. And David Couch and Mark and his staff have taken this on. 3 of them were approved during the consent calendar. 1 of them went to a public hearing because, in point of fact, this is a building that is completely occupied down in Victory Square. It's full. They did a survey, and that building from the north end to the south end has subsided over 3.5 feet. Not inches, feet. 3.5 feet. And in that area, they have chronic water pipe breakage, sewer pipe, raw sewage down there in the street, water sitting there creating problems with mosquito larvae and the like. And quite frankly, it's third world, and I've made that statement in the past many times. And just because people are of limited means does not mean they should be forced to live in squalor and unsafe conditions. And that is third world, folks, and it should not happen in this country. It should not happen in Kern County. Some people might think, well, by going ahead and moving forward with the demolition of that building, you're displacing those people. You're driving them out. But the fact of the matter is, when the county supervisors considered that issue, they were very sincere in their worrying about the welfare of the people that live there. Okay, the first place to go, I would have to guess, in this city, should there be any kind of a shaker, is going to be that leaning tower. Gravity's already working on it. And so the supervisors had to think about what's the best thing? What's the best thing for the welfare of the people that are living there now? And even though they might be displaced, it will be the best thing for their safety and their welfare and their health. And no matter where they land, I dare say they're going to land in a better place. And it is incumbent upon the landlord to pay for their relocation. And if he does not pay for their relocation, then the county will pick it up, they'll lien the property, and he's subject to a $10,000 fine. So these things are moving forward, and it takes somebody who truly cares. So people on the west side have always enjoyed access to government if they were in the city of Taft. It's easy to get a hold of anybody who's part of city government in the city of Taft. It's a group of guys that, like Randy says, we live here. We are everywhere and readily available. I fielded city calls in Armenia on a Bezor Ibex hunting trip one time, but it's a different story. Just to show you how easy it is to get a hold of us. And I don't believe the same was true for the county side for some time, but now I've got to tell you, you have strong representation and you have access to your government if you're on the west side and you don't live within the city. Take advantage of it, be a part of it, be a part of the solution. Those people are begging for issues to be dealt with and for advice and for ideas. And the city will partner with them, and I want everybody out there in TV land to know that they left here in a hurry because they've got other things to do. They are working hard. If I don't get 2 emails a day from his office, David Couch's office, and Mark Salvaggio, I get nothing. I get so much it goes into a spam folder, for heaven's sake. That's how hard they're working to make the entire west side a better place and a healthier place and a safer place. So I want to thank them publicly. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. North. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I want to thank Councilman Knorr and Cryer, who have worked tirelessly with our Supervisor Couch and staff to bring attention to those areas down there, and finally something's getting done. And it's really sad that it's only taken 2 months to get this done, where it's been 8 years. We've been crying about it and trying to get some action, and it's really refreshing to see that we're getting county government attention over here like we should.
Yes, sir.
And so all our hats off to Supervisor Couch and his staff for what they're doing, and their presence over here on the west side. It's just very refreshing, and it's amazing what's happening and what's getting done. And it's, I think, much better to see a vacant lot than some of the derelict buildings that we have sitting around here. And they're taking them down, and that's not only down there in the Fort City area, but also in South Taft. I believe they brought down 2 structures in South Taft just a couple of days ago. So it's really great, and hope they will keep it up. Secondly, weeds. We do not have crews out going after weeds. So if you're waiting for a city crews to come by and chop the weeds out around your house or around in your alley or whatever, would you please do it yourselves? Because we need your help. And although we're not having an overly wet year, it was enough with the wetness that we did have and the sun coming out. The weeds are out, so please attack your weeds. And I got that in before Mr. Nord did, so thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Waldron.
Well, I'm just going to ditto a few things, and that's Supervisor Couch. I said before, and I'll keep saying it because he keeps doing it, and my hat's off to him and his group, and I hope he keeps doing it. And it goes back further than 8 years. I can tell you back about 12, 14 years, that especially down Victory Square. And I did get my weeds cut down today. Thank you, Mayor.
Good job. Mr. Cry.
Thank you, Mayor. As you can see, the council is happy with our supervisor doing. He's done an awful lot in the first few months in office, and a lot of people understand that the apartment down there that they're tear down with that's occupied, there's more to it than the sewer line breaking and stuff. There's gas lines underneath there. What happens with a gas leak and gas goes underneath the buildings and it blows up, or electrical fire? Whose liability is it? The lawyers will have a great time with that. They'll make money on it. Who's going to get sued? The taxpayers again, because the county did not do due process and condemning it, and or get the owners to take care of it. So it's a good thing that we're taking a proactive deal to get it done for somebody who does get hurt, and hopefully those people will find a much better place where they have right now. It's really important that we take care of all the citizens, get away from the slum type living standards. Fortunately, I survived St. Patrick's Day. Went to the fort, had a nice dinner there. I was just a little bit late, but we made it. We need to support our different nonprofits here in town, the fort, the museum, and any other social service club, because it's so important that we support them, because if they don't get enough support, it's going to die out. And the fort, the attendance was down a little bit, and I've been to the oil field museum, and attendance was down too, the last fundraiser they had. And we must, important for us to participate when they have a fundraiser. We all show up and show our gratitude that we're lucky enough to have a museum, to have the fort, and any other nonprofits that we have out there, because they rely on us and our support. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you. I had the opportunity last Friday, right? Yeah. Last Friday, I was invited to attend a luncheon that was put on by the Taft Police Officers Association here in Taft. And they were recognizing individuals who had contributed greatly to the success of their Shop with a Cop program this year. And I was there, and I accepted the award on behalf of the employees of the City of Taft. This is not a council thing, but the employees of the City of Taft. And beautiful plaque. But I wanted to go on record as telling the employees of Taft, and I made the statement down there that I was at the Christmas employee dinner when this came up, and primarily that is to recognize the employees for their service, but it also develops funds for Shop with a Cop. And when I saw the raffle tickets come out to purchase on behalf of Shop with a Cop, because the proceeds all go to Shop with a Cop, I was just so impressed with the outpouring from city employees who have not had a raise in several years, are doing multiple job tasks now because we're running a little bit thin on resources, but they all dug into their pockets and they all bought tickets, and it all went to those kids. And I just can't tell you how warm I felt, because they really cared. And I told them at that luncheon that there's nothing greater than in life than to make the difference in the life of a child, and our city employees do that. And I just wanted to appreciate it. I accepted this on their behalf, and this will hang somewhere prominently here in City Hall. So thank you to the city employees of Taft.
Yeah.
I'd like to segue on to some of the county cleanup that's going on. I've had a few people actually ask me, why do we care? Why do we care what's going on in the county? Don't we have enough things to do with here in the city? And when I explained to them that there's seven entrances into the city of Taft, and 3 of those are county entrances. And most people take the county entrances to get into the city of Taft. And when you drive through those entrances, you see some of these dilapidated buildings. And I use the term loosely dilapidated because some of them are just slums. And it does put a different light on the city of Taft. I've gotten to the point now where when somebody asks me, hey, how do I get to your house? I tell them, you come all the way up 119 with a blinder on one side until you hit Kern Street, and then you come in on Kern Street. Because when you make the turn right here, and you come up this street and you go up through our downtown area, you're actually seeing Taft, which is a fairly well-maintained city. People care about their properties. Not that we don't have our issues, and we're dealing with those issues, but I do commend the county for taking the lead on this and starting to, I think, provide people with a better quality of life. They are disposing people, and I hope that those people find better places to live, because the truth of the matter is nobody should live like some of those people are doing down there in Victory Square or Heroin Heights or whatever we want to call it. Someday I hope we call it a dirt field, if nothing else. But anyway, that's why the Taft City Council cares, is because what surrounds us is county areas, and what people, sometimes the first impression makes the biggest, and they always hit county areas before they come in here. And I'm looking forward in the next couple of years that people will be able to drive through those county areas and say, you know what, this is pretty nice. Taft's a pretty nice place, because we are Taft. And it doesn't stop at Ash Street or stop at, Oak Street up here or whatever the case may be. So go get them as far as I'm concerned. And that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. So we'll move on to the Planning Commission report, and I believe that's why Mr. Oren is here. Commissioner Oren, I should say.
Thank you for the opportunity, gentlemen. I assume that you receive our agenda and you know what was on it. Our agenda items were all covered. There was some discussion, our meeting became a little lengthy with respect to Center Street and the 2 addresses, 714, 716, that are not in compliance with our occupancy code. And action has been taken on that. There have been notices posted and notices given. So those 2 commercial properties that are used as residences currently are in the process of being vacated.
Great.
We had to cancel our meeting that is scheduled for this coming Thursday because the developer didn't have their plans completely to a point where it was reasonable for us to make a decision or review their site to this point. Then we had a long, protracted hour-plus discussion regarding the downtown area, its maintenance, its appearance, and enforcing the codes that exist. And we came up with several ideas, one of which led us to a point where we are requesting that you, the council, and we, the Planning Commission, hold a joint meeting so we can identify what theme we're looking for, what we're looking for in the development, and what we're looking for in enforcing standards. There's been discussion about how we could put some bite in the fees that we're going to incur if we take those buildings and board them up correctly or force it to have new glass and to clean up the downtown area. That's an area that is not generating the revenue that it should for the city. It It's dilapidated in many respects, and we would like to have your input and guidance as to where we should take this and what's reasonable and appropriate so that our downtown improves. So if you can find time in your meetings to set a meeting up so we meet jointly in the next 2 to 4 weeks, that would be great. I think we've got a synergistic thing going here. With David coming in and providing some impetus from the outside in the county's respect, and then we're looking at our situation and realizing that we can make improvements, and it's incumbent upon us. It's not them. They aren't going to do it. We need to take pick ourselves up by the bootstraps, make it right, and get this done. So we have a cleaner, safer, better-looking community. I'm excited to hear about Cedar Village getting cleaned up. That's amazing. So
it's good.
The last was an anecdote. It wasn't part of the report.
I understand.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, any questions? Thank you, Ron. We appreciate it. Sure. We will move on to department reports. Any department folks want? Teresa's here. Shall I call on you, Teresa, first? Because I glassed right over you last time.
It's all right. I just wanted to let council know that our online auction of our surplus equipment, I don't know if you guys have went online and looked at it. It's going well, and I was rather surprised. But
Teresa, online auction of what?
Surplus equipment.
And
their
where did we
vehicles.
find that?
The company?
Yes.
They contacted me quite a while back, but if you look on there, like the city of Arvin, and there's other, like there was a lot of local people, but they deal with people throughout the whole United States, and all they deal with is public entities.
Is it Interscola?
Huh?
Is it Interscola?
Publicsurplus.com.
Oh, okay, publicsurplus.com.
Would you-
Yeah, I put an ad.
Could you spell that out for folks online on TV land? there?
Okay, there was 2 ads that I placed in the paper, and the web address is www.public, P-U-B-L-I-C, surplus, surplus.com, all one word all together. And then you put in on the right-hand side, you'll say the region you want, California, and then there'll be another drop-down box, and you scroll down until you find the city of Taft, and then you'll see all of our vehicles that we have on auction. And there's, I believe, 26 vehicles. All of them have bids on them, including the 3 transit buses, which we are happy to get rid of, and they can have the spiders with them. But it's going well, and we're trying to get that resolved. And then I think once since it's gone so well, we are going to bring some other items to get requests from council to go ahead and get rid of and put them up for sale, and we'll see how that goes.
It's great. It's a great way to do it, too.
Yeah, because a few of our vehicles are diesels, and they can't be sold in the state of California. Or if they are licensed in the state of California, they'll have to retrofit them and meet the air pollution. But everything has a bid on it. Everything is actually a lot higher than what I thought would be, but we're doing really well.
It's great. Good. Thank you. That's good. We'll check it out.
Okay.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Thank you. Any other department reports? All right. Moving on. City manager statements.
Thank you, Mayor. Just an announcement, the supervisor's office, Supervisor Couch, as one of his staff, has been in touch with the city, and we're planning to put together a community cleanup event with a partnership between the city, County Supervisor's Office, Taft Chamber of Commerce, and Westside Waste Management. The meeting will be March 27th. The topics will include the date and time of the event, target areas to be cleaned, donation of materials and tools and safety equipment for the project, and the types of cleanup, trash, graffiti, vegetation, etc. And the idea is we'll pick some target areas, we'll map those out. Whoever shows up to volunteer, we'll assign the task to them. We'll give them the transportation to get them to the site, and give them the tools and the safety equipment to complete it. And hopefully we can have multiple cleanup areas going in the county and the city. Like you said, it's not just the county areas. We have some city areas that need some attention as well. And with a lack of inmates to do some of the stuff that people are used to them doing for them, we got some alleys that need to be cleaned up and some not too much graffiti, vegetation, the weeds, stuff like that. So the idea is we're going to try this as a pilot program, and then try to do it every quarter. And just make it a tradition that we do it every quarter. Every
Great.
Another project, the Black Gold Court Industrial Park. Bright House has requested an easement from the City of Taft to deliver internet connection to the newly developed Black Gold Court Industrial Park, which fronts Gas Company Road. The industrial park has 7 businesses within the project area that have recently relocated to the city limits and will be recipients of the new service, including some of our own property, the Taft City Animal Control Building and the Taft Municipal Wastewater Treatment Plant. This has been a lengthy project with Bright House, and it's hard for us to attract new, upcoming, high-tech businesses to our industrial parks if they have no internet connection.
Yeah.
So it's been very important. It's kind of a economic driver for us to get that out there. We'll be coming back to the council with the request for the easement and the construction cost. There's going to be a share of construction costs that'll be bared by the city for our properties. But the idea is everyone will equally share the cost to get the service out there. And it's at a discounted rate. There's a equation that they use on the amount of services that they provide, how much revenue they can bring, and how much they can discount the construction. So we've been going through that process for a year now, I think.
Wow. Is this going to benefit the mosquito abatement and the gas company out there also? Are they interested?
It would if they would have opted to be part of the.
Oh.
They opted not to receive the service nor be part of the equation to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
It'll be aired by the city if the council chooses, and the business owners. I know the business owners are extremely anxious,
Oh, yeah.
especially TRC Operating Company. They have a huge, brand new, state-of-the-art office building with no internet connection.
That's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I believe they have internet, but it's not what they need. I don't know. But I think Dave's beaming internet connection off the roof of his house.
That is absolutely correct. I had to go through a great deal of expense to have an antenna put on my house, make sure there was line of sight to beam it to my business. So that is true. That is true. And I've tried satellite dish out there. I tried all the air cards. We've tried everything.
Hertz Rentals just moved out there. That's going to, a lot of those companies employ a lot of our citizens and revenue generators for the city. The rental yard, of course, any rental yard that networks with other rental yards need internet service.
Absolutely. I don't know how they get by without it.
And you can't hardly invoice. I mean, if you work for all the big companies, everything's internet based, and all those types of things.
So that's going to be it's going to be a cost to the city, but I think we'll get it back in other ways. And
I might ask and go ahead and go on record, David, since I happen to be one of the business owners out there in Black Gold Court, should I stay out of the discussion during the course of that?
I don't think so, Councilman, because your involvement would be the same and identical as everybody else's in the community. So I don't think you have a conflict.
All right, thank you very much.
On to the sewer line break. We are, I believe, within the last hours finishing that job up tomorrow. There was, turns out, after extensive investigation and a lot of cammering, it seems that there was a section of 15-inch pipe that collapsed, which caused a backup, which surcharged the line, which caused a cap to come off down by Sandy Creek, and that's where the water got diverted into Sandy Creek. City of Taft staff and contractors have been working with all the state regulators and the federal to make sure that we do everything right, follow all the laws, and we got the proper permits and everything. The creek was cleaned up to the satisfaction of all the agencies as well. So The end result is we replaced 400 feet of clay pipe that was, we're thinking 1950s construction. Replaced it with 400 feet of new PVC. Because of the soil subsidence in the area, we beefed up the base and the soil compaction underneath the pipe, so we don't have any future compromises. So that project should be complete within the next couple of days, and we'll finish up working with Department of Fish and Game with the stream bed alteration permits. They let us go ahead and do what we needed to do, and we have to follow up with the paperwork, but they've been pretty good to work with. So.
Mr. Jones, for some agencies, they may think, oh, Sandy Creek, all that stuff went in Sandy Creek. Well, actually, it was very fortunate it broke there and it all went into Sandy Creek and not spread out all over Hill and Dale. And so...
the regional water board was glad to hear that it was in that area that was not frequented by people because it's fenced in on all sides. It's private property. The area was fenced in. There shouldn't be anyone out there.
And it's a fairly remote area also. So.
But the regulatory agency is worried about critters.
Yeah, of course.
And, former Mayor Ray Hatch is in the audience tonight, and he'll appreciate the fact that no Sandy Creek carp were hurt during this event. It's pretty incredible when people from Sacramento or Washington, D.C., I don't know where they call from, as soon as they hear the word creek, they're thinking, oh my gosh, we've killed a bunch of fish, drinking water's been soiled, and all this sort of thing. They just don't realize that in the old days, that's where the sewer water ran anyway. But what I did want to do is commend city staff for getting on that, because there was no interruption in service. What is the inflow of that place a day? About 1 million gallons?
1 million gallons a day.
1 million gallons of sewage going into our wastewater treatment plant through that line, or part of that going through that line. And nobody in the city of Taft even knew that it happened unless they happened to be driving down 119 and caught a whiff of it. But city staff got on it. They diverted it with pumps. WM Lyles was Johnny on the spot, got us taken care of, and they've been fixing it up. Our biggest concern is the fallout after we're back and operational, because all these agencies are going to come down here and want a piece of Taft because we've damaged all this pristine land out there. And the truth of the matter is, the heat that we've had the last couple days kill all the pathogens that are out there. The creek was cleaned up. If you went out there today, you wouldn't see any evidence that it happened. So we're probably going to pay a fine or two, but you know what? We'll do it. But we did the right thing. We got on it, got it fixed. So kudos to city staff and yourself.
Staff did a great job.
You too.
They've saved us a lot of money. Christy Lowe has been out on that job ever since it happened. She was out there Saturday and Sunday making sure that she's been the go-between between the agencies and our crews to make sure they follow all the laws while they're doing the cleanup. We also had to hire a biologist.
Will continue to defecate in Sandy Creek after the spill. I don't think it will bother them one bit.
Well, they didn't seem to be too concerned with the actual spill. It was the actual disruption that the construction was going to have on the animals.
I might remind everybody that it took a great deal of work, but we did get a letter notice of non-jurisdiction from the feds when we spent all that time with the Army Corps of Engineers and the EPA. So Sandy Creek, as far as the blue line on the federal side, we have a notice of non-jurisdiction.
It's a ditch.
It's
unfortunately, our line runs across BLM land.
Yeah.
They have jurisdiction.
Okay. All right. Very good. Anything? Oh.
Yeah, just one more announcement. Arbor Day's coming up in April, and the city will work with the community garden. I don't know if Ray, has anyone gotten in touch with you on the Arbor Day?
Just knew we were going to work together.
Okay. We're going to work together. We're going to do our tree planting ceremony at the community garden this year.
Oh, good. Good idea.
So that'll be in late April. The school kids will come down and plant a few trees, and we'll have the tree foundation out and then do our annual tree planting. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Jones. We'll move on to city attorney statements. Mr. Prentice.
Mr. Mayor, I have 2 items. In conjunction with the county's efforts to exercise good code enforcement procedures in the county, the city is now endeavoring to move forward with an aggressive code enforcement plan of its own. And in that regard, my office has been charged with establishing and creating an administrative fine ordinance that would provide for increasing fines over a period of time to try to get people to actually do what they're supposed to do after they get a notice of violation, and provide an administrative procedure for hearing any of those appeals so they're quickly done. I think the most important component of that will be moving from a lien structure for those fines when abatement occurs to an assessment structure which will be placed on their property tax bill.
Yeah.
So the city can receive its money every year rather than waiting for property to sell.
It's a great
idea. And we've already checked with the auditor for Kern County. That's very doable. We will have all of the CAFT ordinances in place to make that happen in the next few weeks.
It's great.
And the fine amount will start out at $250? Or
I'm not sure where they start, but they will get large quickly.
Good.
It'll incentivize people to fix a problem when they get a notice.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I had a gentleman approach me and say that he heard that the city was going to be assessing on property tax rolls street sweeping services. I don't know where that came from. We kind of explored that a little bit, but
that's part of the
that's
part of the refuse increase.
He was in favor of it, but he said what the city ought to do is on street sweeping days they should write tickets for people that have their cars parked on the street. And I thought, I'll share that with folks.
It takes
because
a lot of effort to do that because we've done that years prior, and it is a problem because if you follow the rules and you move your car, but your neighbor's car is so close to your curb, we can't get in there.
That's true too. Yeah.
People do get upset.
I do have one more item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Before we move on, and as you know, my son has been battling cancer for the last several months. I've gone through some difficult rounds of chemotherapy. I was just informed this morning that he won that battle. He's cancer-free.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you for
Wonderful.
your support.
And to him too, obviously. Yes, thank you. That's really good news.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Prentice. Item number 10 is future agenda requests. Gentlemen. Mr. Miller?
I have none.
Mr. Walter?
I think, I don't have any, but I think Chief wanted to say something, didn't he? Did he?
I don't know. You did? I don't know.
Refresh my memory, please.
Oh, I thought you was getting up when he was calling some people.
Oh.
So okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Cryer?
None this time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I have one, and it's going back to Mr. Cryer's request for information on charter cities. I know that staff is kind of working towards figuring out the pitfalls and the steps to go through, but what I'd like to do is ask the council to concur with city staff looking at, rather than the whole picture, we start off with what the cost is to the city to get this to an election, and also if it's possible to weigh against the savings for going to charter city. My iPad just shut off. I think I'm trying to figure out the first steps of this thing, and rather than just trying to throw it onto a ballot, I would like us to get it to the point where we know what is going to be expected of the taxpayers once it hits a ballot box, what our cost is going to be at that point. Because I know even to get it on a ballot, it's probably going to be fairly expensive. But I don't know. That's the stuff I want to find out.
I think wait to the general election to do it.
I'll concur.
And we have some time, and I just want to make sure that we're still moving forward on your request, but I think we could set some guidelines on information coming back to the council so that we can step through this thing and see where we're at. So I don't know if that's clear enough for staff direction.
Yeah,
but
we've started gathering some information. I know Mike's got some information from the league. Louise has got some information from the county, but there are some costs associated, I believe, if it is a general election year, right?
Yeah. Well, even with staff costs to, get it to that point. But the other thing I was kind of curious about is once our website is fully up and operational, if we couldn't do some polling on our website of various things, not just the charter city, but, we could put a poll up there. What do you think about street sweeping services? What do you think about, the services that are, and what do you think about the city moving towards a charter city? And then that get people thinking a little bit, maybe researching a little bit, and then we can.
One thing we did learn is generally if the city's moving towards that they do hold some public town hall meetings and request information from the citizens on if they do move towards charter city, what would they like to see in there?
There you go. So all of it's good. I just want to formulate a plan to get there. So, okay. So anyway, I
do you want that brought back in sections? Like when we find out the financial, we can make a report on that and then move forward, or?
Yeah, I would think, or maybe, maybe
just an informational staff
as you get
report?
to the different levels of cost, I'll let you structure that, but.
Okay. I'll concur with you.
Well, I just know it might take a few council meetings before we have all the information that we need, but we could probably get the financial stuff fairly quickly.
Yeah, I bring it as you have the packages, I guess.
Okay.
Because I don't know if we can absorb that much all at once anyway. All right, very good. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll move on to the consent calendar, items 11 through 19. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. Items on the consent calendar tonight are number 11, the minutes of the March 5th regular meeting, 12, payment of bills, 13, contract for a full-time paid resource police officer at the Taft College, 14, change order with the Wallace Group work on wastewater treatment plant USDA loan project. That's in the amount of $35,000. 15 is an RFP for transit occupancy tax audit. Item 16 is approval of submission for the CalHome program grant application. 17 is award community mobility outreach and involvement project to Moore and Associates. 18, consideration of bids received for the installation of CMAQ installation of 10 bus shelters at various locations. This is a rebid, and it's a federal project number CML-5193, parentheses 032. And item number 19 is internet connection at the Taft Animal Shelter. Gentlemen, do you wish any of these items to be removed?
I'm item 13 with the contract with Taft College. I know Dr. Maloney's here tonight, and we have the chief. Would you want to speak on the issue? Okay. Then I'll pull that.
Then let's pull that one.
Okay,
I
we'll pull
agree.
that one
I
for
would
discussion.
All right. Any other gentlemen? Seeing none, then I would entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 11, 12, and 14 through 19.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Councilmember Pryor?
Yes.
Councilmember Waltrip?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you. Moving back to item 13 is a contract for a full-time paid school resource. I call him a police officer at the Taft College. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Taft College would like to contract a police officer to the Taft College on a full-time basis under contract. Assigned officer would patrol the campus, investigate crimes, work with school employees, and develop emergency action plans for the college. Position would be paid for 100% by the Taft Community College District, including wages, benefits, and up to 100 hours of overtime as needed. The officer would be responsible to the police chief and to the college president and his or her designee. This contract typo here. Here for the remainder of the fiscal year, and then the next fiscal year until June 30th, 2014. Copy of the contract is here and attached and incorporated to this agenda item for your review.
Thank you. This is important to us in that it does formulate a nice, what's the word I'm looking for? A city-college partnership, I guess. Synergy, yeah, I like that. And I see Superintendent Dina Maloney is in the audience waiting to talk to us, and welcome. Please, if you would, just state your name and your address.
Sure. Dina Maloney, Superintendent President at Taft College, 104 Lee Street, Taft, California. I just want to thank the City Council for your consideration of this contract for services. Taft College is very interested in strengthening our campus safety program. We do have security officers at the campus in the evening, but we feel that we need to have a stronger program put together. This is one of the things that we're doing. There's a number of things that we have undertaken in recent months, but this is, I think, one thing that will really help us move forward. The safety officer that we are hoping we can work with will do more than just patrol the campus. There's a number of things that we're hoping we will be able to accomplish with this contract. We've worked really closely with Chief, and we're really excited about the possibilities this contract will bring for the college, for our students, and for the surrounding community. So with your approval, we'll move forward with that. But we're very, very eager to see this come about.
That's great. Thank you. Chief Whiting, did you have a comment?
Yes. First, I'd like to thank the President for being here tonight, and also like to thank Brock McMurray, who we worked with together to formulate both the contract and the concept of the school resource officer at the college. I'd just like to note that it's not just important for our community to come together on something like this, especially after the tragedy, but also a lot of the students that go to our college come from outside of Taft. And what's the first thing they see when they come to the college is they see us, they see us as the city, and they see now a school resource officer. And they see that they're protected. They see that we are working together. And I think it just puts a real positive foot forward in this area. We all want to know that we want to be safe and secure in our schools, and same with our community college districts. And as the President noted, it's not just about having a visible officer present there. We also have other things to do there at the campus, including update and work with in the form of liaison for things like evacuations in the event of a disaster, any safety or security issues on the campus. And let's face it, sometimes a crime occurs there and you need a good investigator to take care of that and follow it up and take care of it. And with this contract, we'll be able to move forward and do that. On a little bit larger scale, when you look at having 4 schools right there within a block of each other, you will now have 3 full-time officers all within about a block of each other in case of any kind of a major incident like the one we incurred in January. So that gives you a much faster response, and will get you a lot better security for all of the campuses close by having that amount of resources available almost immediately. And I want to thank the President for her valued support, and again, Brock McMurray for his support and helping us put this together.
And Chief, when's the contract going to start?
We haven't set a date on it yet, but it looks like if it were to be assigned tonight, and I believe it will be, then next week is
Spring break, so probably April 1st.
April 1st.
Cool.
Not the date that you want to start, but I'm thinking April 1st.
Are you messing with us? Is that a joke?
But that's what the officer that we selected, that's what his question was. So, but it looks like April the 1st is when we'll start it.
Well, I concur. I think this is great. Having an officer at all 3 of the schools in town now, and having 3 officers focused in kind of that area where, let's face it, most of our population is for 7 hours a day, is pretty cool. And it also allows us to maintain our police force size, which is a benefit, because if we have an incident somewhere else and it's okay, we can pull those guys for an hour or 2 to help out somewhere else too. So we appreciate the partnership. I think it's going to be great.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dina.
Thank you. Okay. Then the recommended action is a motion to approve and sign a contract between the City of Taft and Taft Community College District for a school resource officer.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please? Oh, I'm sorry. Was there any other discussion, gentlemen?
You know, I did,
Yeah,
if I may, Mr. Mayor, we as a country have suffered several of these tragedies across the nation, and oftentimes people, they have a knee-jerk reaction to these things about what's the best way to ensure the safety of our children while they're in school, and we've seen them run the gambit coast to coast. I'm proud to live in a community that looked upon the tragedy not as an opportunity to stomp on the rights of law-abiding citizens, but with an open mind. What truly can we do that really will make a difference, really will make a difference to the safety of the kids in school, the people that supervise the kids in that school, as well as the community overall, at the same time safeguarding those rights. And I'm very proud to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Very good. Mr. Pryor?
No comment.
And Mr. Miller, Mr. Walden?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you again. May we have a roll call, please? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop,
Yes.
Councilmember Pryor,
Yes.
Councilmember North,
Yes.
Mayor Linder.
Yes, and that one passes on a 5-0 vote also. So thank you, gentlemen. At this time, the City Council will go into closed session, and we will discuss several items, including Government Code Section 54956.9, Section A, for consultation with its attorney regarding potential litigation, one case, and Government Code Section B, Government Code Section 54956.95, Paragraph B, regarding settlement authority for Robin Adkins. And item C is Government Code Section 54957.6 to give direction to its labor negotiator concerning labor negotiations for all units. And item D is under Government Code Section 54956.9 for consultation with its attorneys regarding existing litigation, Los Angeles County Superior Court case BC 489804, City of Taft versus the California Department of Corrections. We are adjourned to closed session. Thank you for being here tonight.